What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745, and welcome to the Spec Ops 24 task list. This of course is going to be part 1, and it's going to cover everything up to the first research. With that being said, let's go ahead and get number 1 out of the way. For Norse Rising, 1 of 25 defeat 4 Iso-saurs. They can be found in Spec Ops 24 Mission 1. I'm assuming that most of you already got this one, but they do show up in the very first 2 fights. There should be 2 in each, and we'll just go ahead and get started on those really quickly. My Carolina Dean is almost level 14, I know I was slacking. So we'll bring her in, and also the wave obliterating Iron Patriot. Okay, where was that energy gun? I for one didn't see anything. So it was kind of weird, I don't know if we're lagging or what happened. But we do cut down the first target with a counter, and then we'll take out the second with 1 attack. So be honest with you, this is going to be very fast as these Iso-saurs don't put up much of a challenge. Then jumping into the second threat, we only need 2 more and we're going to face exactly 2. Now you may want to do some of the deploys because I found myself stuck against the mini-boss after this fight. If you do defeat the mini-bosses, that means they won't be around for the end boss fight. That will ultimately take away from your mission score. I'll tell you right now, I ended up fighting 2 of the mini-bosses, and that's not optimal whatsoever. However, I did do all the deploys, and I still managed to get 2 stars. So I'm not entirely upset about it, but it did cost me unstable ISO 8. Don't worry, I'll try to save you from my mistakes. That is, if you still need the help. But anyways, after this battle we've completed task number 1, and so we do get 100 experience, and we get to move on. Up next, we have to use Beta Ray Bill in combat, and he's a team up in Spec Ops 24 Mission 1. So yes, you will face a mini-boss with Beta Ray Bill, but it just says to use him, so if you go into this battle and purposely lose, then you should get credit, and you could still face these mini-bosses with the end boss. That's something you may want to consider, but I didn't do that myself. But you know what, it was pretty awesome testing out Beta Ray for the first time in the Wrecker mini-boss fight. He and his animations look really cool, and even though I didn't pair him up with someone I really wanted to try him out with, such as Thor, well, you can't use Thor at all in this mission, so that wasn't even an option. But I could have tried to bring in Storm. Instead we just go ahead and keep leveling Carolina. In this fight there's going to be 2 waves, and the first is against 3 Iso-saurs. They should be really easy to take out, but I am hoping to see all of Beta Ray's abilities. Just like that, 1 stalker's down already. And with Beta Ray, we're going to begin by using his level 1 Stormbreaker. The main reason that I'm using this ability first is because it's going to grant him covered, so that reduces damage by 50%. He's going to need it because these blasters are doing a ton of damage. In fact, I almost lose Beta Ray to a counter. So with my agent, I'm going to use Warm Zephyr, and then we'll knock out the bottom target. The faster you can take out these blasters, the better. So here comes a Warbringer Axe, and that's the end of that soldier. Then with Carolina Dean, I'm going to use Prismatic Shield, which should help Beta Ray stay alive. At least that's my hope, but he was getting bum rushed. This time, however, they attack Carolina Dean instead of him. So on Beta Ray's turn, we're going to use another ability, Ride the Lightning. The animation was pretty epic, but it does happen very fast. Still, 1 more hit and that's the end of the first wave. In this one we're facing 2 mini-bosses, and they have 1 scrapper and 1 tactician. Meaning we do have to watch out for Thunderball. Still, right off the bat we're going to use I Say Thee Nay. That's a fantastic name for an ability, and Nay has a double meaning when it comes to Beta Ray. Throughout this battle you probably have noticed that we are getting Empyrean energy stacks from Beta Ray's abilities. So I guess he's not that bad with Carolina. Unfortunately, now comes the enemy onslaught. Well, Thunderball does miss, and he takes a big counterattack. This nearly knocks him out. Then Wrecker misses right behind him. In fact, he misses twice. You know what, maybe Beta Ray's passive is helping out our team. Next up, we're going to soften Wrecker with an axe attack, and then unleash Carolina Dean's Empyrean Flare. That leaves Wrecker barely clinging to life, and so we'll finish him off with our last ability that we haven't used from Beta Ray. Wrecker's just been thunderstruck, so that's all you have to do for task number 2. Now task number 3 is going to be a tough one, so get prepared right now. Collect your 100 experience and then move on to the brutal step number 3. For this one you have to complete 3 flight deck missions. Are they crazy? But seriously, they can be any flight deck mission of any length, so this one's a gimme. Simply collect them once they're done and then move on to task number 4. Oh, and this time you get 200 XP for your trouble. For number 4, you're going to have to defeat the end boss of Mission 1 in Spec Ops 24. They call him Scourge, otherwise known as the Executioner. And for the reward, you're going to get 1 ruined medal. You'll see why that is once we get to the next task. Now for me, when I see Scourge, I don't have any mini-bosses, and that's not a good thing. It will hurt your end mission score. So for myself, I made up for it by doing the deploys. But I definitely used more unstable Iso-8 than I wanted to. Because of that though, we're only going to have 1 wave of Iso-saurs, and then the boss himself. And by the way, the team up is with Enchantress. You may want to try her out with Loki because that's going to be an epic team up. Oh, and by the way, you can win the Dread Axe, which has deadly crits and demise. But back to my team, I'm bringing in Iron Patriot, and the reason for that is because he can take down the enemies in a hurry. By the looks of it, he's going first, so you're going to see what I mean right away. We'll begin this fight with a 21 gun salute. This is going to take out at least 2 of the 3 enemies, and then Enchantress can finish off the final one. Well, at least I think she can. Okay, maybe not because she's mainly there for a lot of debuffs. Still, it is nice we do get to fire 2 magic missiles, and we didn't use any quick actions because that would be a waste against 1 stalker. Then with my agent I'll use the Blade of the Guardian, hopefully gaining a good buff, and at the same time finishing off the final enemy. Now for Scourge himself, I'll begin with a full overcharge 21 gun salute. This isn't the greatest because of his fire stance, but Executioner is weak to ice and melee, so just keep that one in mind. The important thing though is that we take him down to 8,000 HP, and we have a few stacks of radiation exposure. Oh, and that attack prompts a short dialogue where the Executioner talks about Surtur, the group boss. As far as that, I should be facing him later this morning, and I'll definitely make a video. So don't worry, I'll come up with some sort of team, and then I'll work on perfecting it. Like always, I will share it on my channel, so just make sure to stay tuned. Now, as for Enchantress, look at how impressive she is. She can use 2 quick actions. Then I could have fired magic missiles, but instead I just went ahead and used her level 9. So that was definitely my bad. However, I knew we had this battle easily won, so our first counterattack is going to end it. That's also going to end task number 4 and bring us to our first research. I know, research tasks are a pain, but after you finish it, you're going to have to use the item, and then the next task will be the group boss. So at least there's a silver lining to it. Here is the blueprint for the Asgardian Armband, and that leads us to task number 5. Research the armband in the lab. So once we click this link, we'll be taken to the research lab, and there we see the cost is going to be 40 unstable Iso-8, 100 silver, and it's going to take us 8 hours. Let's get this one started and then we'll continue this task list later today. As far as part 1, that's going to be it for now. So I want to thank you all for watching and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck and take care.